Okay, it's time for another CRA tip. So, I wanted to talk about exam prep. You may know that I have a book, and this is the Practitioner's Guide to CRA Readiness, and it's called Outstanding. Even if your intent is to have a satisfactory rating, this book is for you. I wanted to talk about preparing for an exam just with a quick tip. So sometimes we're voluntold to run the CRE program. Maybe we walked past the wrong door at the wrong time. And now, just like that, we are running the CRE program, and there's not a lot of rigor around policies and procedures, and you're not quite sure what's going on. I've heard it a lot of times. Well, I wanted to share a little bit more about how to approach if that is the situation you're in. There's very little industry resources out in our community, if you will, and so I'm really dedicated to helping bring clarity to those that might find them in the position of running a CRA program. A really great way to start is to review the last exam, review the PE. Now, everybody knows this, but I really want you to study it. If you are not quite sure how to prepare for your next exam, I always recommend consulting the PE. The PE has a lot of information, and it's really your forward facing document, which you know. But there's a lot you can learn from that. And you might even want to pull 2 to 3 PEs from the past. And if you're allowed to use AI, since this is public information, you can put that into an AI tool of your choice, and you can ask to extract information around where are we doing well, where do we have some gaps, and really hone in on what are the 3 strengths in our CRE programs, and what are the 3 risks or gaps in our performance, and in what assessment areas, so that you can focus on the highest risks first and then start to look at your current performance with that context. Right. And let's say you are not quite sure what to do with that information. That is your job then to take a deeper dive into learning what your bank has done in the past. Are these legacy gaps? Do any of your business units have any perspective on these gaps or these markets? Have some of your products and services changed? So then you go and you start interviewing different internal stakeholders within your bank and start to learn more so that you can draft a narrative to get in front of the examiners. Likely, if you've had gaps in the past in certain markets, then you'll likely be still working on some of the gaps in your current examination period that you'll be examined under in your next exam. So that is my recommendation. If you're not quite sure where to start and you're a little overwhelmed, I would go back to those PEs and I just start learning more about your bank and about some legacy performance strengths and gaps, and then start learning more through interviews and looking at documentation. And while you're doing that, keep the next exam in mind in terms of how are we doing? How can we look at our current performance? And what have we actually done to start to move the needle into better performance going forward? So it's just a quick tip. It's something that you know that it's a best practice to go look at the last PE, but perhaps using a little AI to help you research and synthesize that information more so that you can use your valuable time defining the risks, the opportunities, and the path forward for your bank. So I hope this is helpful. Stay tuned for more CRA tips in this podcast channel going forward. That's all for now. Take care.